What do you do with your sawdust? I do many things with mine. I have had some hard times in my life. I have had challenges to overcome, adversity, many sad times, many bad times. Sometimes I can't even recall because they were so bad. But definitely the hardest thing I've ever done in my entire life is get a bag on this oh, that was dust. Let's get a bag on this dust collector. This is the hardest thing you will ever do in your life. Which means you also not feel accomplished until you do this. So please, come down and prove yourself. Okay, the one time I do that on video, I get it done under like a minute. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? My buddy has woken up. Oh my gosh, this light makes me so happy. It is on. I turned the lights on today, and it came on. Like, how exciting is this? I can now use this space. Although, even though I have the space used now because the light's on, I don't want to ruin my epic snow sawdust pile over here. Plus, I kind of have the bandsaw wedged in a place that is not going to let it move because it's very light. So because it's very light, it doesn't really have a whole lot of weight to outweigh the force of friction. And so when I push stuff across it, it tends to move the entire saw. So I like keeping it wedged. So today on Shop Vlog, we continue working on our maple veneers. Hopefully by the end of this video, we'll be at a glue up point, but I can't promise that. I have my other veneer over here, my block with this hella annoying chunk cut out. If you see that right there, that is like a 1/4 inch deep. And so I'm going to work off of this side today when I cut veneers. I'm going to try a little bit different setup over here, probably eliminate this table, because I feel like that's what caused the gigantic dip to occur. So what do you guys think? I woke up with a little new acne this morning, and also that second day after shaving stubble. What do you guys think? Any girls watching? So I was about that far through the cut, a little over halfway, and I had an issue come up. I first noticed this bandsaw tire come off on the wheel, and then immediately the second thing that I noticed was the motor shifted over, and this thing is locked in there as tight as I could possibly get it with these two nuts that I have underneath. And everything came loose, and it was still running. But with the belt really loose like that, that became a problem. So I'm going to need to fix that real quick. Okay, this is, I think, the third time this has come off now. I'm not sure what's caused it to come off suddenly, but it's a big pain in the butt. So I cleaned it, and I'm also going to try some spray adhesive. Maybe that'll keep it on. Not a lot, just a little bit. Alright, cut 3. Finally made it through. Consistency. I know you can't really see it. It looks okay. There are some spots that are a little too thin. So we'll see exactly how flat I can get this once I start planing these down. But this piece is definitely going to be okay. I might get one or two, maybe three more out of this, even though I only technically need one more. But if these are too thin, I'll need more than that. I'm building up to a 1/2 inch thick board, so if they're 1/8 inch, I'm going to need 4 pieces, ideally. So quickly, let me just go over the things I adjusted to make this cut. Actually, even though it took like 3 or 4 hours with pauses and everything, and I also took a break in between, I made some adjustments that actually made it go faster. So for one, after messing around with the bandsaw a lot, I actually tightened the blade. I didn't realize how loose it was. That helped things. I put the blade guides closer together, which prevented wobbling and wandering. Back here, I also added this post to stabilize the saw, prevent it from pushing back any further. And then also what I did this time differently is that I would flip the board upside down. I'd check each side to see if it was trailing at all on the bottom and make sure I was holding the board perpendicular to the table, if that makes sense. So like I said, overall I think this was a better cut, but still have a cut more to go. Alright, so I went ahead and planed these down, and the issue is, the planer planes what it sees. It mirrors how flat the piece of wood is, and because I'm planing it so many times, those inconsistencies really become very noticeable. And perhaps the biggest one is that the sides aren't even. So like if you look there, you see that top piece is so thin, yet those two pieces below it are so thick. And you look across, and it's the same thing. It all is just so inconsistent. And that goes the entire length of the board. And so I'm going to do one more. I think that'll do it in terms of thickness, even with the inconsistencies. I maybe will do another one after that, but as you can see, we're running out of board here. I'm just hoping that after the glue up, I'm going to put a bunch of glue. I'm going to fill in all those gaps with as much glue as possible to keep this thing tight. And hopefully that'll solve all my problems. That and all of the issues with the blade drifting are all on sides. They're not in the middle. So most of it's going to get cut off anyway, so I'm hoping that works out. But one more cut to go, and then we can get ready for a glue up. Next thing I got to do now that I got the veneers cut is to make these blocks, which I'm going to use to hold for the glue up. Last time what I did was a disaster. I glued up a disaster. That's all I can say. You can watch the video. It's somewhere on YouTube. Anyway, I spent a long time coming up with this curve. It's not really a curve, but I will cut it like a curve. And this will be my block for the glue up. I cut this out on the bandsaw, so more bandsaw footage. Okay, before I give the okay for the glue up, I do actually want to make sure this curve is going to be okay. I mean, there's going to be some kickback after I glue it up, but I still want to make sure this curve's not too much. So.
Look at my head. Alright, what did we say? Kind of like put your foot on one part, or something like that. Put your foot on one part, and then put it next to it. I mean, I don't think, just given the shape of the human foot, I don't think having a little too much curve would be a huge problem. But, feels fine, I guess. Of course, I have no idea if my weight's enough pressure to push the curve down all the way. I think it's gonna be okay. I think it's gonna be okay. With that said, we are okay to start the glue up.
Well, that's the glue up. We are all done. Finally, we got to a glue up. We have some minor messes. For instance, right over my shoulder, right there. But glue's not hard to clean up once it dries. So we're gonna be okay. This thing is gigantically heavy. I still am not satisfied. I don't feel like I got every open gap. I feel like there's gonna be a lot of spaces right in the middle after I take it apart, but I mean, that's the best I could do. I mean, look at all those clamps. I mean, look at my clamp rack after that. Look at that. There are hardly any clamps left. So my plan was to bring this inside and let it dry, because I don't like to run the heater overnight, just because, you know, waste of energy and waste of money. But I think I have no choice but just to leave it out here. And I have the heater set to low, which means hopefully it's just enough to prevent it from freezing out here, which right now, it's a good 53 degrees. It's actually 10:30. But I love ending the day on a glue up. Every day should end on a glue up. You should always end your day with a glue up. It's such a satisfying feeling. And tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so I probably won't touch this for 2 days, which is a good thing because it's cold outside, which means it take longer for this to dry. It's a stress joint, which means I should let it take longer to dry. And I would just want to enjoy good old Thanksgiving. So that's going to do it for Shop Vlog number 2. Thank you all for watching so very much.